So I said to him, you better pack your shit because the law ain't gonna cut itself.
Bum, 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 ba-da, bum, bum.
Pun.
Pun, 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 pun. Push, push, push. Leave me alone. Push, push, push.
Pun. That's right. Welcome back to Unplug.
What's
Simple
up?
as that.
What's up?
My name is Marcus Marx. I'm seated here today with the
With
Yeti,
the Yeti.
a.k.a. the Brownsville Yeti, a.k.a. the Massachusetts Master Shooter, Portland, Oregon, Mighty Morphin Org.
We're back to that.
Portland,
We're back to
Oregon, Mighty Morphin Organ Chewer, the Teppanyaki, Tonsil Hockey, Amarillo,
Facts.
Armadillo, 1,000 Oaks, Slit Your Throat, 20 Caymans in a Moat, Cannonball that Sunk Your Boat, the Count of Monte Cristo, the Man That Murdered Disco, the one, the only Brownsville Yeti. I know I'm forgetting a few things, but
It's all right. We'd have been here for a while if you'd have went through them.
like, you know, when you're trying to run in a dream, it felt like that.
Oh,
I was like, just
that's
run,
terrible.
bro, just run.
That's
And
pretty shitty.
Yeah, it was messing with me. We had an unexpected guest here in the building today. He's looking at me like he wants to eat me. He just blew me a kiss.
He wants to breed. the
We've
fish
actually
with his
talked
fish.
about this guy before in the podcast. Remember on the picture I sent you?
Oh yeah, the one that we laughed at for like a fucking hour.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna cut what the hell I was saying out because I felt like it wasn't making any sense. But it's because I think it was more just like a corrective system. Like, say there are gatekeepers to this world into another realm, a more positive realm, in order to, I guess correct if you are, because they kept saying too, like they do have a choice. Like a lot of these people are saying that too. They're saying that they had the choice to either stay there or come back. And
they choose to come back.
But when they get back to Earth into their human form body, they often get depressed. They have bouts of depression. And this lady last night that I was watching the video, she described it as she thought if she could estimate it on a timeline, because I guess in these realms no time, but she said if she could estimate it, she was there for like 5 years. And when she got back, she literally, and this may have to do with like brain damage and stuff like that, whatever happened to her. But when she got back, she forgot how to eat. She didn't know what the toilet was for. Like they told her like because she explained that her stomach was hurting. And she's like, why is I feel like I have pain right here. And she's like, well, have you gone to the restroom? She's like, what is that? And she's like, well, go to the restroom, go sit down, relieve yourself. And she forgot what that even was. And she was like asking the nurses and doctors like, hey, how often do I have to do this? How often do I have to go to the restroom? And she's like, whenever you feel like you need to go. She's like, really? And then she was like eating and she forgot how to eat. She's like, how often do I gotta do this? Like, what is this for food? What is that? And like she had to basically relearn how to be human. So living in that other realm that she was in, she got used to just being able to like float around and teleport and like shit like that. You know what I mean? Like you're just a spirit and energy. But people,
I really wish there was a way to like test for this kind of stuff, like, because like you said, I'm leaning toward like brain damage, like you hear of like traumatic head injuries and stuff of that nature, and they forget simple tasks. And you see these videos of people learning how to have to walk again and eat and things of that nature. So like that's where my mind leans to. But it'd be interesting to see if in the future we can come up with a way of like I don't know, testing for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, all I can do is just tell you how I feel about it. I mean, I don't know what provoked me to. I mean, I've always thought about this stuff all the time, but I think it just has to do with age. I think the older you get, naturally you start contemplating it more, and
yeah, because you start to realize how limited time actually is.
Yeah, because and time really is very severely limited. Like we're just a blip on the radar on the grand scale.
And it's crazy to me, man, is like I don't think we view time as currency, and I think we should.
Of course we should. I feel like that's the biggest flaw that humans in general tend to make, is that we don't value our time enough, and we're selling our time to places that we hate.
Yeah,
like our jobs. Like for example, like a lot of people spend a lot of time, unfortunately, at jobs that they hate because that's what they're willing to sell their time for. I mean, whether or not that's all you can get or whatever, but
yeah, I think that's obviously a multi. Variable equation for that one. But yeah, dude, like hell, even little things, dude, like
but it just goes to show you how little they value your time. They're so eager to take it from you, and it's so easy to give it away. And
yeah, and you don't get it back. It's not like you can go to the bank and cash a check to get more time. You know what I'm saying?
And everybody, I think we're of the general consensus that everybody just agrees on that. Like, yeah, I mean, I guess this is how much I'm worth. I'm worth $15 an hour, and that's what I'm going to sell you my time for.
Yeah,
And
and
everyone's
I
just like,
see
well,
even
what do you want me to do, man? That's minimum wage. Like,
like what's crazy though, like when you say it like that, you're selling yourself for 15, you're selling your time for $15 an hour. It's an interesting perspective because I don't think people view it that way. And I feel if that were to get preached more, right? If that was being said louder, you wouldn't have people fighting to have minimum wage jobs
yeah.
boost their boost their wages to support them. You'd be like, dude, you're right. I am selling my time that I don't get back for $15 an hour. I need to start making some moves and adjustments to increase that monetary number to make it more beneficial for me. Because we only get 24 hours in a day. So if you work an 8-hour shift,
You sleep 8.
we all work 8 hours, give or take, right?
Yeah, give or
But
take.
people are getting paid at different rates. Now, I don't think it's everyone is like everyone holds the same intrinsic human value, but your time isn't worth the same because it depends on what you bring to the table. So start developing skills and traits that will allow you to demand a much higher rate for your time. And I think that's a thing that most people need to hear because that's like I've never thought of it in the way you just described it as I'm selling you my time for $15 an hour when you should be working to make your time worth more money. That's interesting, man.
You know what always got me mad too, and the time you'll never get back is the things that you can't really control. Is like, for one, like waiting in lines or waiting at a red light. Like how much think if you think about how much time you just waste, like just going from point A to point B. How
Mhm.
much time do you spend just trying to get to your destination? You know, I know you're supposed to live in the moment and appreciate it, but like you're spending a lot of time just waiting at red lights, waiting for the idiot in front of you to hurry the hell up, waiting for the people in line to stop yapping so you can just get your shit, check out, and go. It's like how much of this time are you actually wasting? It's
A lot, man. 'Cause I
like,
think
bro, like, if you could add up, like, somehow on dashboard, like, how it counts the miles on your car of
Mhm.
how much time your car is idle at a red light, like, with a sensor or something, like, add that up at the end of the year and see how much time you actually spent in traffic. I'm sure they've estimated it somewhere.
Yeah, I know they have because I even saw a statistic for the amount of time the average person spends in a bathroom, and it was something like 8 years or something like that,
Bro,
dude. You know
bro,
what I'm
like,
saying? Like,
imagine if every year we got, like, tax money back for that, for, like, like, money that we're wasting and time that we're wasting spent at red lights because they haven't solved traffic yet. It's just bro, I'm never gonna get this time back. When I'm at a red light, I'm like, "Bro, like, you're just wasting my life." Like, this
it's that's kind of an interesting way of looking at it. But yeah, it's a good point though, bro. You know, I've never really thought of it like that. But yeah, man, that's what I'm saying, dude. Like, you have to try to enjoy as much moments as you can. Now, like, I mean, let's be real. Life isn't fucking rainbows and sunshine every day. You know, life's full of a lot of shit. But uh, that's why I think you have to be able to offset all the negative in your life with some positive stuff. You know, find some meaning in your life. And because time is currency, man. You know, and unfortunately, not even well, putting jobs and occupations aside, some people's are blight, man, to your life. They'll just sit there
somewhat.
as blights. They'll just absorb all of the light or time that you have and have nothing to offer you. You know, and I think it's you need to be able to be selective in who you choose to give your time to.
Yeah,
You
100%.
know,
You
and
you
but I think like we just view it as, oh, I have tomorrow or I have the next day or whatever, because we all have a timer that's ticking
Yeah,
down
we have an expiration date, and
and
people don't
we don't
realize
know
that.
when that time hits, you know. Uh like, and to choose to spend it around people that don't have your best interest in mind
Isn't that yeah, yeah.
is kind of shitty. You know, like now I know everyone's got to look out for themselves, but like, you ever have those people, bro, where you're going through a shitty situation, right? And rather than listen to you vent your shitty problem, they're gonna one up you with like, oh, I had it worse. They're gonna tell you how much worse their life was. Or if you had like a something that's worth celebrating, you know, you graduated with a degree, you got the job you've been going for, maybe you're a producer and you make a song that's just a massive hit, and then they're gonna come like, oh yeah, well, I had this too, but better. And it's
Yeah,
like you don't want those people around you, dude.
nah,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? Like you want someone that's
Energy
truly gonna be there for you when you're happy. You want someone that's truly gonna be there to be like support you and not talk about how much worse their life is versus yours when you're having a terrible moment. Like, and I think a lot of us have those people that are in our life that we allow them to suck that time away and not be there for you when they need. You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly what it is too. We're allowing it. We're allowing these people. So really, the fault is our own at the end of the day. Yeah, you need to analyze and recognize these and identify these people in your lives and cut them out.
Yeah, and no hard feelings, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to be a dick about it, but like, yeah, try to find a way to remove the extra mass, dude, because it's crazy, man. Like that we mentioned in the last episode, Logan Paul and that friend, I think his name's George.
Oh yeah.
It's like now maybe he's Logan Paul for him's an umbilical cord because he's they're pretty famous and they have a big following and a big influence.
It's hard to walk away from, yeah.
But like, if he came out and said like, dude, you treat me worse than as a best friend than random people that I meet. Like it shouldn't be that way. And hopefully he gets to a point where he's able to like, dude, my time and my energy, my well-being is not worth this, dude. Because like you should be surrounding yourself around people that genuinely want the best for you.
I think, and there's a term, and me and my cousin use it a lot, but energy vampire. These people are real.
Mhm.
There are those people in your life that will just put their fangs on your neck and just suck all the energy out of you. And at the end of the day, you go home with a fucking headache and you wonder why you're tired and you're just like, you're just walking around with it like the anchor feeling, and you're just wondering, it's like, why? And it's like, well, take a second to look at the people you're hanging around with. Like, who are you surrounding yourself with? Is it negative or positive people? That should be able to answer your question right there.
And what's interesting about that, man, is they also say like, show me who you hang out with and I'll show you who you are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like I think that's a big one too, bro.
Then
like because birds of a feather flock together. So you're
Yeah.
gonna say you're not any of these people yet you hang out with them. You probably have a lot more in common with these people than you think. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And so hopefully all that to say, hopefully people can like value their time more because you don't get it back, dude.
I think also, bro, this is why I just reminded myself of why I'm so interested in these videos now, right? And obviously everyone's trying to find a purpose. I'm trying to find my purpose. I really want not an excuse, maybe a reason, but I really want more of an incentive just to live my life more positively and spread more positivity and be the opposite of what I used to be. A negative. I don't want to be that negative, that energy vampire for anybody in their life. I want to find the best and people in general and the situation that I'm in. And I want to from these moments, from this time that I'm spending learning, do it in the best way that I can and do my best to just always see the brighter side to things, you know what I mean? Because I don't want to be let's just say, I'm on my deathbed one day, which will happen, but let's say where I'm in that position and I'm contemplating. I don't want to be that person who's thinking to themselves like, "Fuck, man, I could have done so much better. Why did I do this? Why did I do that? How come I didn't do this? How come I didn't do that? I should have treated these people better. I should have treated myself better." I don't want to go through all these questions. Like I want to know that I can like leave here at peace. That way if there is some other realm, I know that my conscience is clean.
That's a good point, dude. Also, I'd say if there isn't, that
Even
you
if there
left,
isn't.
you
Exactly.
left like the most positive footprint here that you could have.
Yeah.
Like people didn't see you as a source of like, well, as a energy vampire, you
Yeah.
weren't sucking the life out of other people, and then you weren't just this uh nihilistic person, you know what I'm saying, that you actually left a positive energy, behind and you influenced people and impacted people. And then of course if there is something after this, then it'd be great to know that you're set up for success in that in the afterlife.
They say there's this thing, and I think I heard this from Joe Rogan, but he had somebody on the podcast who was explaining that there's a theory that things and objects hold energy. It's almost like muscle memory for us, the way it works, but for objects and things hold memory and energy. And our energy that we're putting out, our vibrance, our whether it's negative or positive, gets integrated with our surroundings. Like when like they describe it as like you ever he was talking to these people that like are into the supernatural and paranormal. They're trying to find
Oh, okay,
they're
I see
trying
where
to
you're going
find
with
real
this
ghost
now.
stories. They're trying to find real ghosts. So they visit the most haunted places on earth. And they say whenever they walk into some place where something terrible happened, just
You could feel
completely
it.
evil, you could feel it. Like when you walk into that place, you could feel the negative energy and it's just like you feel sick almost to your stomach.
Have you seen the movies like The Nun or
I stay away from most of that shit, but
well, no,
I've
because
seen a couple.
there's these fuck, I forgot the name of the movies.
You got it? The movie?
Thanks, Jamie.
No, I thought you knew it.
No,
Conjuring?
yeah, those ones with that lady and her husband that go around. Well, they have like they keep objects that are like, I guess, possessed or whatever.
Fucking
And so I think we're talking about
that.
like, and they keep them in their house so they're not out in the
Is it real
world.
people do this?
Well, allegedly, the real people. I don't know the
Ghost hunters?
like yeah. So like they like to say for instance, this your place here was haunted, right?
Yeah.
And they would find this one item that
That was
the
holding
the
negative
whole
energy.
yeah, and then so rather than allow that to be out in the world, they kept it in their basement.
What a sacrifice.
Yeah, and like so when they like in the movie, they went into their basement and they just had all these ancient artifacts that had all this negative energy.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah, so like I don't know how much truth there is or legality behind saying this is based on a true story.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But apparently these people were real people. There's
Yeah.
actual like videos of them from back in the day of them going to like what are those things that the Catholics do?
Exorcism.
Thank you. Of them going and helping like priests
Yeah.
and stuff of that nature and taking these items or artifacts that have this negative energy. Actually, it's interesting. I have a buddy of mine that also has a podcast and
Patrick Wilson and Lorraine Warren.
there you go.
Okay, repeat it.
Was
We
it
can't-
you said
we can't
Patrick
hear him.
Wilson and Lorraine what? Lorraine Warren.
Yeah.
So that sounds like kind of what they were talking about, how like this energy just gets embedded within these particular
Yeah.
items, you know. I actually have a buddy of mine that's out in Arizona, the one I told you about where I have all these interesting
Okay.
stories about. He now that's all he does is goes around it's exclusive to Arizona. I think he's even traveled a bit to these different haunting places and tries to capture, like EVP and stuff like those. What is it? Electro something.
Electromagnet? No. Oh, that's not magnetic. It's something else.
Yeah, where they can like sit there and they'll have this device that's able to pick up on these frequencies.
Oh,
and
yeah,
it'll be
yeah,
like,
yeah.
It said like higher, get out of here or
Mhm.
whatever, right? Yeah, shit like that.
Knock it off.
Like if you're there, talk to me. And
His name is actually Ed.
Ed?
In the actor's name.
okay, Ed Warren, right? So, but yeah, man. So like, it'd be interesting to get him on there. You know what I'm saying? Because that's all he does. Like I think he's even got like a little show.
Yeah, we're gonna
dedicated to that.
You can bring your little tablet one day and we'll zoom him. We'll have to
Oh,
put him
yeah.
like right here and we
Okay.
can put him on Zoom or something like that.
Yeah,
But
that'll work.
that's definitely the future of this. Like I was telling you, we're gonna start streaming it. Anyway, that's definitely I want the future of this. I want to start interviewing people that have these stories so we can have something to go off of rather than me just telling you what I remember from a goddamn video. You know what I mean? But yeah, so basically, there's a theory going around saying that like things hold energy, right? And I don't want to be the person that leaves. I want to put more positivity out there, more positive energy. Because you could feel that shit, man. Like when you walk in somewhere, you could just feel it and it radiates off of people and it's infectious and it's I feel like it's contagious when you're being that negative energy in people's lives. It brings them down, and I don't want to be that. But I think that's more my incentive and like what is like pulling at me to want to figure out more of this shit and what it is and just keep contemplating it. But that podcast was crazy because when he had those two people, those two kids talking about the ghost stories and stuff, there's like going over all the objects that they were like showing them a video of like cursed items, like these weird things that like even if you make eye contact with it, like that's it, like good luck, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's
And-
a lot of interesting stories about that kind of stuff, bro. It just makes you really think, like not even like the near death experience type stories, but like the ones where anywhere I go, this thing follows me, like I'm not gonna lie to you guys, like remember Paranormal Activities? Like, dude, it was funny. And okay, so here's a trippy story, I guess. So me, this guy, and Andrew went to go watch, was it the first or second one? We went to go watch one of them in the theaters, right? And then we went back to Andrew's house and we all spent the night there. And his family was out of town that weekend. And we're all trying to act all cool and shit, but we're all low key fucking scared, bro. So we all slept in the living room, right? And fuck, we must have been like 17, 18, somewhere in the neck of the woods, no older than 20. Were we? Maybe, okay. Well, I don't know. We were between the age group of like, we'll just say 16 through like 19 or somewhere that, give or take a couple of years. And so none of us want to admit that we're fucking scared shitless. And Andrew's house is like dark, and he also talked about how his family sees this little girl that runs around in the house, right? And I shit you not, bro, we're all in the living room. We hear like a fucking door slam or some shit like that. We're just like, the hell was that? And he's like, well, no one's here, bro. My family's out on a trip or some shit like that. And we're just like, what the hell, dude? And it was just one of those nights where it's like, was it something that could be explained, or was it something like supernatural that he was, but
Or was it a coincidence? Yeah.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Was it just like we're all fucking scared and it was, I don't know, something fell over in the room that was already teetering?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or was it
Who knows?
one of those that little chick, I guess, that runs around in the house? But
I'll be the first to admit, bro, that shit scares the shit out of me. I don't any of the spiritual shit. Not like the horror movies, not like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but like the shit that we don't know about.
yeah, that's why for me, Paranormal Activity was, because it's like, how do you explain? Like, granted, they did when you watch it at home, it doesn't have the same impact because like a lot of the
I think it
booms and
does.
bangs. No, it doesn't, because in the theater, bro, like there was this one scene where like it was a loud crash, boom, like a bomb went off and the fucking chandelier shaking like crazy. But you watch it, almost all.
Oh no, that
You know what I'm saying?
that
Like,
aspect of it, yeah, is
yeah.
different.
So it's like,
But I still think it's creepy. Like if you're alone and you're watching it and it's late at night and you're by yourself and you're watching this paranormal activity, you're gonna get a little scared.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I will. Some people won't.
yeah, you know. So it's because you can't explain it, and then of course your mind wonders, is this shit true? You know, is there any sort of truth to this? You know, because the only experience. Oh fuck! Actually, I had one with you at your grandparents' house, dude. We were
Really?
at it was
Your grandparents'
summertime.
house is kind of creepy though. That shit's like it's got.
I think it's a badass house, but
It
yeah,
is, but it's creepy. It's creepy though. It's got like the old vintage feel to it.
And so we were. Was Andrew there that day? No. So I spent the night at his house, but we're in the living room. that was the same night at the tent, huh? No, oh, okay. Well, it was summertime, bro. So we had the AC on, and then I wake up, and I think he woke up at the same time, or maybe I was awake and he wasn't, or vice versa. But dude, it got fucking hot, bro. Like sweating, like just hot as hell. And so he goes over to check the thermostat, and it was an old school thermostat where you actually had to move the little thing from like hot to cold, heat to cool, and it was on heat. And we had this shit. It was summer, so we had the AC on. Like, what the hell happened with that? And I think that same night when he went down the hall, the light in your grandparents' room turned on. The hall, there you go, and it was just us two in the house.
But you're saying it got hot, it didn't get cold?
It was summertime.
Uh-huh.
We were chilling in the room watching TV, fucking yapping it up, whatever. Had the AC on. I don't know, we had it to where it was fucking cold. And then we fell asleep, woke up later on. The heater was activated. And you had to switch it from AC to heat.
Oh, so somebody went and switched it.
Yeah, it wasn't like a computer dial where you just pushed like yours. It wasn't like yours. There was a physical switch.
School one, and then you had to physically move it from whatever number to fucking the highest number there was on there, and it was all the way to the highest.
Yeah, bro, it was trippy, dude. And then he goes and addresses it, and then the fucking hallway light flips on.
And the time that you spent living there, did you ever experience anything else other than that?
My cat, we were chilling in my room, and the hallway in my upstairs. My cat was looking at the hallway.
Oh, I hate that shit.
And she starts fucking hissing and.
So hold on, to recap, I don't know if you guys can hear that, but he said that he had another experience where his cat was in the hallway, and he lives at the time he was living in the upstairs, and there was 2 bedrooms up there in a long hallway, and his cat was in the hallway staring down it. Your cat was on your bed? Oh, so the cat was on his bed staring into the hallway. And the cat just does cat shit, starts hissing. I'm assuming it started like hair started standing up, and it was on like it was go time for the cat, bro.
That means because they say animals can see shit that we don't and sense things that we can't. So like when when animals start barking and like getting scared for no reason and shaking, and you're home alone, you're like, I know for me, like when the dog does that, like I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and they start their head starts turning around. They're looking at, you know what I'm saying?
What
like,
the fuck are you looking at, dude?
Yeah, it's crazy. There's a room that in his grandparents' house. I think it's the room your uncle sleeps in now. But before his uncle moved in, it was a spare bedroom, and they had like this fucking doll, a Raggedy Ann doll that was just like on the bed, bro. And every time I'd walk by there, I was like, dude, I don't want to see that motherfucker like his head move.
I don't know
some
about
shit
you,
like
but
that.
I won't even look at that shit. I won't make eye contact with it. I won't acknowledge it. If it's on TV and they're talking about some haunted object, fuck you. Get out of here. No. Like, I'm good. Like, no, because that they say that shit'll latch onto you if you allow it to, because
if you give it the power.
Exactly.
So the other experience I've had was at Sean's house, and
oh, you told me this one, but I forget how it goes.
It was like a shadow figure, and we named it Bob.
Oh, what was that? It occurred that often?
Yeah, I almost seen it a few times, but there was one time, it was in the morning, and I got up early. I don't know what for. Back in the time, I had to wake up super early all the time just for no reason. And Sean, so our bedrooms were like adjacent from each other. So when I walked out of my room to go to the bathroom, as I was turning in, I saw a silhouette walk down the hall, and I start talking to it, thinking it's Sean. And I'm like, I think we had something planned that morning or early afternoon. So I'm talking to him about what we're gonna do, and I don't get a response. I'm like, dude, are you fucking ignoring me? So I poked my head back out of the restroom, and Sean's door was open. I could see him asleep in bed.
Mm.
But whatever I saw was human figured enough for me to think it was Sean, that I caught at the corner of my eye to start talking to it, thinking it was Sean.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, I just got fucking duped,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, because Sean saw it enough. There was one time when I was still living there, and there was an earthquake that had taken place, and I didn't feel it, but Sean did, and I was awake during this time, and so Sean was watching a movie in his room, and at the time he had a bunch of like empty liquor bottles on the top of his like bookcase,
I remember
right?
those.
And yeah, when you were like, how much of the world I drink, you know, when you're like fucking 18, 19. And so he says like his bed starts fucking shaking like crazy, and all the bottles start clinking. And he's thinking like, yo, it's time the demons get pissed or whatever, right? And so he's hoping that it's an earthquake and to hear me come out of the room, like, yo, did you feel that? But I never come out. And so like eventually everything stops rocking or whatever. And Sean's sitting there like, yo, this house is fucking possessed. And then eventually I come out like, hey bro, they're saying it was an earthquake. Did you fucking feel it? He's like, thank God. You know, I thought it was the fucking spirit got mad or some shit like that, and started to, you know, take vengeance or do what evil spirits do. But yeah, it was, so we saw that there enough, at least for him to think that it was something like that, not that it was just a one-off occurrence and his mind drifted to that spot. So was it you? Yeah, it was you. Remember we tried tricking Leo in the
Oh
backyard?
yeah, yeah. And then he choked me out. He jumped on top of me and choked me out.
Yeah, we're like, look at that shadow. He's like, there's someone over there. There's no one over there, buddy. Look, he's walking back and forth. Dude, there's nothing there. Then he goes and tackles you.
We know Leo's not scared of ghosts, but apparently he didn't think it was a ghost. He thought it was like an intruder.
Yeah, but still,
it's fair enough because
we all tried playing in on it though. No, dude, there's no one there. Look, it's right there. Like, dude, we don't see anything.
We gotta do that.
So then he went and investigated and beat you up.
Yeah. I just surrendered. I was like, all right, play dead.
Yeah.
And then I resisted and he let go.
Yeah.
Did I tell you the other night that, I don't know, who did I tell this? I didn't tell you, right?
No.
Okay, so the other night I got up to take a piss, and usually the roommate gets home around, I want to say like 12:30, and she'll be doing things probably till like 1:30 or something like that. So I'll hear little noises here and there. So I got up to pee, and I heard a noise in the kitchen. I heard somebody mess around in the kitchen. I was like, oh, probably just her in the kitchen real quick. So let me close the curtain because, I sleep in my underwear. Went to go pee, and I'm pissing. And in my head, I'm like, it's probably, damn, it's only like 1:30 barely. I feel like I've been asleep all night. And I'm done, and I could still hear it in the kitchen. I'm like, shit, what the fuck's she doing right now? You know what I mean? And I came out, and I opened the curtain, and I look, and it looks like it's like pitch black. I looked to like across the room, see if her light was on. Her light wasn't on. I was like, fuck, what time is it? So I went to my bed, and I looked at the phone, and it said fucking 4:30. I was like, what the hell? So I sent her a text, and I was like, were you up right now? Nothing. And I got up again, and I grabbed my firearm from the side of my bed. And then as I did that, I could see my tritium sights glowing, right? And I'm walking towards the door, and my girl gets up, and I was like, oh shit, I don't want to scare her. So I hide the tritium sight. She's like, what are you doing? I was, no, I had to go pee. So she went into the bathroom. As soon as she went into the bathroom, I turned my light, and I came out here with my firearm and my flashlight, and nothing. I was like, dude, somebody was out here making noise. I wouldn't have just thought that. That's why I thought it was like 1:30.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was her. That's why I texted her. I was like, somebody was making noise for sure. Somebody was like here in the kitchen. And then I didn't get a text back from her till like the next day at like 10:30 in the morning. She's like, no, I was asleep at like 1:15 or something like that. I was like, what the fuck? And my girl thought I was sleepwalking because she noticed I was acting weird, but she thought I was sleepwalking. And I was like, no. I was like, I didn't want to tell you. I didn't want to scare you because it was like late at night. I thought I pretty sure I heard somebody, so I got up to go check it out, you know, and no one was there, luckily. But I have no idea what
Yeah,
the fuck I
interesting, dude.
heard,
I don't
bro.
know, man. That's crazy.
I have no idea. But it freaked me out. I was like, dude, because it's not the first time like I've heard shit or like felt things or I've had like crazy dreams here. Like I remember the first couple nights that we moved into the apartment. We were going to sleep and I was looking up at the ceiling and this like those the glow in the dark things that like you could spray paint it
Hmm.
and then like it'll glow for a while after the dark or when it gets dark and then it'll kind of dissipate, like it'll lose the glow. Well, it had been dark for a minute already. Like it had probably been dark for like 20 minutes. And then something on the ceiling in the shape of like I want to say like a like a
Like a
a
hoof?
like a half moon, I guess.
Okay.
But it didn't I don't know, it was like a half moon. Started glowing. And it looked like if somebody placed something on the other side of the sheetrock or whatever they use to put the ceiling in, and as if they placed something that was glowing on the other side of it, and it was laying on top, and you could see it glowing through the bottom. I was like, What is that? Like, what the fuck?" And I'm just like looking at it, and it keeps getting brighter. And I got up and I got my phone, and I'm like, I put my light on it, or like, and to like see if there was something right there. Nothing. What the fuck? And I'm like just laying down, and I keep looking up at it, and then slowly it starts like dissipating. Like that's weird. And then the second night it happened again. I was like, what is that? Like am I tripping out or am I seeing something? I have to be like, there's got to be something right there. So I'm going up to it and I turn on all the lights. I was like, there's nothing there, dude. Like, what is that? Never saw it again. The whole time I've been here, bro. The whole time I've been, I never saw it
He's like, I
again.
check every single night. I've been here for 5 years.
No, like legit though. Like I haven't seen it ever again. And it was weird to me because it was like, there was clearly something glowing on the ceiling. And I turned off the lights one day too and I showed her. I was like, tell me you don't see that. And sure enough, yeah. So I don't know. Just creepy shit. That wouldn't freak you out?
It would, maybe, yeah.
You wouldn't have
I
some
don't-
questions?
Well, definitely a lot of questions, yeah, for sure. I don't know if it would have freaked me out. I don't know if I'm not saying it wouldn't have either, but definitely
Yeah.
some trippy shit.
That's definitely something I'm eager to explore. Not the negative side of it, but I'm eager to like go through all these stories and accounts of people. That's what the lady I was watching her video. She was doing she's writing books, but she's trying to figure out more of why that is. Like how come there's people that are stuck in the in between, like in purgatory? Like how come there is ghosts? How come some people choose to go? How come some people choose to stay? How come some people you can see them and sometimes you can't? Why is it negative? Why is it positive? Like she's just trying to figure out all this information and like put it together somehow, and like just take accounts from other people's stories and research that they've already done. But like, why is that? You know?
I don't know. It's $1 million question, buddy.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know. That shit fascinates me.
I would say more so the paranormal shit is what intrigues me more than the near death experiences. And I'm sure
But I feel like it ties together.
no, I'm sure
almost.
there's like a bridge.
Yeah,
that
there is
brings them together.
for
But
sure.
like, I would like to go fucking ghost. Okay, so one time we did right.
This is a ghost podcast now.
And
It is.
we went to I was hanging with some old friends of mine, and they're like, hey, we're gonna go to Kearney Park. It was like it was on Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
I was all right, cool. I thought it was like a fucking Kearney Park event. Right? I get there, and we're the only cars there.
Was I there? Were we playing hide and seek?
No, we didn't play hide and seek.
Okay.
I went
This
with
is different.
Joe and
Oh,
Chuck
okay.
and all them, right? And so we get off the car and we park, and like I was like, hey, this is a fucking cemetery. They're like, yeah, we're gonna go looking for ghosts. I was like, all right, don't be a
Well, see
bitch
you
now.
later.
Yeah, but I didn't drive, so I didn't have that ability to say, well, see you later. It's either I go with them or stay in the car by myself, right? So we hop a fence, and actually I didn't realize it was a cemetery at the time because I start walking and I'm walking on grass, and then it gets hard,
Mm.
and then soft, and then hard.
Oh, that's a
I'm walking on fucking
Yeah.
headstones, bro, right? And I'm like, oh shit, like we're in a fucking cemetery. And they're like, yeah, bro, they say this place is haunted and it's Halloween, so let's go see some shit. I'm like, dude, like, okay, I want proof that there's stuff out there, but am I going to be happy when I find the proof that I'm looking for? I don't
Yeah.
think that I'm gonna, you know?
Yeah.
So we're
Depends
just
on who
walking
you
around,
are, though.
you know? And so like, and of course now like my senses are like on a full setting, bro. Like every little change in temperature, I'm like, it's getting cold. Or did you guys hear that? You know, like a
Mm.
branch cracking or something like that. And we, of course, we didn't see anything, but it was just like, I want to see something that would like, to me, prove that there is these types of entities out there or whatever. But am I going to be happy? And like, now am I forever going to be changed?
Be
as
careful
a
what you
result?
wish for.
Yeah, exactly. You know, do I want to pull out this thread and watch it unwind?
It's a delicate
you know?
thread, bro. I feel like it's a delicate thread. Like how do you want to do that? How do you want to do it if something decides to follow you? You can't just press, never mind, or reset.
Yeah.
Like,
you
what
know,
do you do?
so-
You got to get an exorcism.
So yeah, so it's just one of those things, bro. Like for me, I'm interested in it and enough to like want to go out and do this kind of stuff, but like I'm also a bitch when it comes to it. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to.
I'm a bitch too, for sure. Like,
I don't know.
like if there, I don't know. Have you ever been into a legit haunted house? Like to a place where you known is like historically haunted?
Wasn't there the spot Scared Friday or whatever next to the mall by Sierra Vista? They
They
tore down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so how about this? When I drive past that, I don't even look that direction. That's how fucking
It's an
serious
empty
I
lot
take
now,
it.
isn't it?
Not there anymore.
No, I know, but I don't even look that direction because that's where the energy's at. Call me crazy, whatever, but I drive straight and I just keep my head.
Did you ever go to that? Was it?
It was on TV at one point.
Did you get to see anything or? Oh, so they had actors and shit there.
Oh, you went to it?
Just like Hobbs Grove. It was exactly like Hobbs Grove.
But you went into it.
But that place was known to be like haunted, and then they just put actors in there as well. Oh,
Get the fuck out of here. And I was like,
Just exactly like Hobbs Grove.
Oh, okay, so it was
Hobbs
like a
Grove was
haunted
weak-
attraction.
Weak shit, bro. Hobbs Grove was so.
Yo, okay, this is a little off topic, or actually a lot off topic, but you guys ever seen those what are they called? Those lockout rooms?
Escape room.
There you go, those things. I heard was it cool? I
They
kind
have
of
one
want to do
here.
one, bro. Like where I want to see if I'm smart enough to get out.
I don't think I am, but they have one right here. They have
Do
one.
they have
on-
different levels? Like
Yeah, for sure.
so like were you in the intermediate, like beginner,
Yellow school bus.
The ones with more longer time,
more complicated?
apparently it's more complicated.
Can you just get out if you want though?
Well, if you tell them to let you out, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But it's nothing crazy. Like the one we did was Harry Potter thing.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to figure out these puzzles. It's basically puzzles. You just got to figure out each puzzle, each step to get out of the room.
I want to do that, bro. Because like, again, going off topic, but there was this video game that came out called Destiny, right?
Yeah.
And they had these raids, and the puzzles to advance through the raid was the part that was crazy because like they had the first one, it was streamed. It was like the world's first completion, right? And then as that gained traction, each new raid they would come out with got more and more intricate with the things that you had to do to advance through the raid. And like people would be playing this game, bro, for like 30 hours straight, trying to get through each phase of the thing. And to me, that was crazy, just like how people's mind, like, because when I see the complexity of the puzzle, because I would just like wait for someone to complete it and do a tutorial. And then of course it was like, even though you had the answers to the puzzle, it was still difficult to complete, right? But I'm like, dude, how do people figure this kind of shit out? Like,
freaking smart, dude.
like it's insane because like I have the answers to the game, and yet it's still hard for us to complete it, you know? And yet not only were they trying to get through the difficulty of completing the game, they also had to figure out the puzzle during that mess. And then what I thought was pretty cool that they did was they would do revamps of it where, hey, now there's an extra hard mode and you have to complete this specific task while doing the old task to unlock that different. It gave you different gear sets and whatever, but to me that was crazy because like, all right, so now you already know the answer to the game, and if you don't do it the right way, you're gonna still progress. And these people still had to figure out the new lock to get it. To me, it was crazy. So it'd be cool to see how I would fare in an
We could
escape
try
room.
one. There's one down the street
Oh, okay.
by
okay.
Sierra Vista.
Oh, really?
I don't know how
Okay.
good it is. Have you been to it? Is it good? That's the one you were talking about?
That one with the quads and
Mhm.
you know, and that girl, and we failed. We did the pirate room, and there was a bunch of us. It was like 8, 9 of us, and we failed.
figure it out?
We failed. It was freaking hard.
Yeah.
And then
Did you guys unlock some of the puzzles though?
yeah, there was like 3 steps that we didn't do, and if we would have did that in the time, we would have passed, but we couldn't figure it out. It was hard.
If they had like an escape house.
Escape house?
Yeah, like okay, so you got out of the
A
room.
haunted escape house.
Yeah, the whole thing. Like, all right, you have 8 hours or whatever, you know. So you start off in one room, and then you got to go through a hallway, and there's a series of doors. You know, I think that'd be pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
But yeah, I've been wanting to try some of that.
That's why Halloween is my favorite holiday. It's creepy. Like it just puts off that vibe all month of like just the vibe that we get when we start talking about ghost stories and stuff like that. That's the whole vibe of the whole month. And then every time Halloween rolls around, I'm be like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and then Next thing you know, it's gone. I was like, well, I didn't do shit with this month. I didn't even watch a scary movie.
Yeah. Yeah, man, this whole, near death experience, ghost type stuff is very intriguing to me. I say I want to get more into the NDE side so I can have more to offer as far as insight goes or understanding. But
like I said, what we're gonna cover is that stuff, but like I want to tie them together. Like I want to be able to talk about all that stuff. I want to be able to talk to people, interview people that have real ghost stories or weird encounters, and like that shit excites me. Like anything that has anything to do with that, or anybody who has had an experience, I want to talk to you. So I'm calling all the. Be careful what you
also,
wish
you
for.
mentioned gym and bodybuilding.
Of
So,
course,
so
that
I want to
goes
get
without
that
saying.
too. How's that going for you still? You still hitting it strong?
No, I quit, bro. So, yeah, I quit.
Did you really?
No, I'm just kidding. Never.
Okay.
No, I'm still doing it.
Cool.
I've been implementing more like red meats into my diet. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, how would you describe your overall experience? How long you been? Because I know you were working out prior to going to the gym, but since you've been into the gym, how long has that been?
So if you can do the math for me, this past July of
Is when you first got in?
2022 was a year.
A year?
In the gym. So what is that today?
I don't know, a year and a half almost.
Okay, yeah. So a year and a half.
How's that?
And the actual gym.
How's that helped you?
Oh man, on so many levels, bro. It's completely changed everything about my attitude, about the way I see myself, about the way I carry myself, the way I feel physically. Like I said, initially it started as a mental journey, and that's you train the mind, the body will follow, and that's exactly what happened. Of course, I feel like a lot of us struggle with this, but I feel like I'm never gonna be where I want to be physically because I'm never satisfied. I think a lot of us struggle with that in the bodybuilding community or the gym community. If you're a gym rat, like I feel like you're just never happy with the way you look, and that's why I feel like it's good and bad because I'm gonna keep chasing that and keep chasing progression.
So the carrot's always in front of you.
Yeah, the carrot's always in front of me. I'm never satisfied. But I mean, other than that, man, it's just been nothing but positivity for me. Of course, I've had ups and downs, and there's days where I don't want to go, and there's days where I feel like shit, and days I feel strong, and days I feel weak. But I enjoy the process.
What has been your take from the mental health side of it? Like, how has that helped you as far as like relieving some type of stress that you may be enduring?
I don't know.
And if there's any,
I don't know how go ahead.
And if there's any of that, how like was it helpful to you?
It definitely. I don't know how I was able to function before without it. Basically, like it was no wonder that I was in the mind frame and the position that I was in mentally and physically before I found fitness and a healthy lifestyle. It was I question myself now, or I contemplate that now. I'm like, well, obviously, look the way I was living my life. I was completely unhealthy, man. Everything was unhealthy, and no wonder I felt like shit for it. And as soon as I turned that around, it all started changing slowly but surely. But I still, don't get me wrong, I still have my days where I'm just like completely out of it. Like remember we discussed on the last one, I still have my months where I just feel like, damn, bro, like fuck, it's just tired of it, I'm just tired. I'm done. But I still on those days I still make sure that I get to the gym because as soon as I walk out of there, even if it's just for that day and for that moment, I feel 100 times better, dude. And it all ends with the sauna. I get through my workout and I'm done with the sauna and I walk out and it's, whatever the weather is, it could be sunny, it could be raining, whatever it is. I feel completely alleviated for that moment. I'm just like, I'm glad I did that. How could I ever contemplate not coming to this place? It's just crazy, like how much of an impact it's had on my life.
It's crazy, dude. How something as simple as going to the gym can alleviate, even if it's for like a very specific moment or a very short amount of time. The cleansing you get from it, man. You know what I'm saying? Like it's weird how just doing these repetitions, given the workout,
just moving some weight,
some heavy shit around, is able to like kind of free you of that, like that weight that you're carrying around, and that weight that everyone has. I think everyone has a weight of some sort, that they're lugging around.
Some kind of chip.
Yeah, and like I said, even if it's from it's momentary, you get to unload some of that weight out of that bag, and it makes navigating life a little bit easier. And you kind of find, I don't know, man, like I feel you find yourself, because it's like when you go in there, think about it, you're physically struggling, you know what I'm saying? And if you're not, then you're not doing enough, so you're always evolving and putting yourself through this stress. And it's weird how it just helps kind of remove some of the mental stuff that's there, because you're physically challenging yourself. And then of course, like if you can do more and you rack it up, you're like, I didn't give 100%. I gotta do this again. I gotta put more on. I gotta put more on. And it helps. I said for me, man, it's been there. I can't even describe the amount of gratitude I have for those types of establishments, man. Because it was honestly, bro, it was a saving grace. And it's funny to it sounds dumb to say that, but like I don't know where I'd be right now if I didn't have something like that, or if I didn't turn to the gym. You know what I'm saying? Because it was like it made it easier to view yourself in a more positive light. You know what I'm saying? Like it was okay. It was every time you're there is like a benchmark test. And you get to see the progress you made from the last time.
I always, man, when I walk out of the gym, I'm always like, this is such a privilege. Like it really is. Like it really is a privilege. Like to be able to have my legs and my health and be able to do these things and have the opportunity to better myself, because a lot of people do not have the opportunity to do that. And the fact that I have that opportunity is just such a blessing, man. It just feels like something that shouldn't be taken for granted.
Do you think that it's people don't have the ability? Now, I'm talking just like we'll just keep it here to the States, because I know the world as a whole, there's a lot more people doing terrible than there is doing well.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think that keeping it here to the States, is it people that they don't have it, or like is it a choice
To live unhealthy?
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I feel like it's definitely a choice, but also it's something that is not pushed on people enough. Like there's not enough awareness about how much of an impact that this can have on your life and how much it can actually change you physically and mentally. Like how much better of a like how much quality of life improvement that it adds. Like I feel like that's not pushed. I feel like it's just so easy, and everybody, all you're seeing is commercials and advertises of just fast food, fast food, fast food, sweets, treats, all this stuff, ice cream, and it's just so easy to go get it, and it tastes good, and once your body is conditioned for that, that's just what you're used to.
And
So
you crave it.
and
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
Yeah, also you crave it, and so what's it gonna hurt just having another burger? It's not gonna do it at that point when you're severely obese. It's not gonna do anything to you. I mean, it's gonna add to it, but at the same, you're just gonna be continuing your lifestyle as you do. And at that point, I feel like some people are just so far gone that there's no point for them to
You really believe
try.
that?
I feel like there's no point for them to try, because they know, you have to know, right? How hard would it be to go from this to that? Like it's hard work, and a lot of people, I feel like
See, I think that comes down to people chasing what's expedient and not what's meaningful. Because you get that temporary, like, okay, well, let's just say you're 500 pounds or whatever, you're severely obese. It's you get that satisfaction from your ice cream, whatever, and of course, no one
it's so
wants to.
momentary.
And then, of course, when you see like, okay, well, this is the body I would like to have, but the distance between there and where I am now is
That's
so
what I'm saying.
vast.
That's what I'm saying.
But, hmm.
I'll tell you this: when I first decided to start eating healthy and making sure that all of my meals now, and I did it slowly. If I wanted at that time when I first started, because I was coming off of years, 10+ years of just eating whatever the hell I wanted to eat. Nothing. I didn't know what a vegetable was. I knew what it was, obviously, but it wasn't implemented into my diet in any kind of way. It was all soda. It was all hamburgers and a lot of McDonald's. You guys both know this. I was the McDonald's guy. I love McDonald's, and for a long time, that was my diet. It was fast food. So when I decided to make the change into, all right, let's start eating healthy and really doing this, because it was always, I worked out, but I didn't eat clean, or I would eat clean, but I only worked out for like a brief period of time. I never had them together. And for me, that was the hardest thing, to putting those two things together to actually see results. And I would do it for a couple months and then I would fall off. Do it for a couple months and fall off. It was never something that I stuck to. So when I really decided to make that change, I remember that those first couple weeks, you don't realize how hooked you are
Mhm.
on this fast food and those sugars and this dopamine spike that you get when you ingest that kind of, those amounts of sugar and sodium. I remember I thought I was stronger than I was because I was doing it by myself and I was telling my fiance, like, you could eat whatever you want. I'm not forcing this on you. This is something I need to do for me. So if you feel like you want to eat some, McDonald's or whatever you want to do, feel free. I'm not gonna get mad at you or anything. The first couple days, I was like, I know I'm gonna go home and cook, and it was late, and we ended up in the McDonald's drive-through, and I was pissed. I was so fucking mad because I smelled it, and I was like, oh shit, this is a lot more serious than I anticipated it being, because I was craving, bro, like an addict. Like I really, really wanted some of those fries, bro. Like I wanted a hamburger like so bad, and it was I was pissed. I was like, how I don't think I told her anything like that, but I was like in my head, I was like, bro, fuck this. Like how am I gonna do this? Like there's no way. Like I was so hooked, bro. And you start getting the headaches and the cravings. The cravings are nonstop. But eventually, if you keep pushing through that and you just have if you just keep going, that shit goes away. And it's like that mental hold or that mental grasp that food has on you, eventually lets go.
I think you brought up an interesting point. You touched on it briefly, but for me, what I think is crazy, bro, is I think when people try to change their lifestyle, it's a massive overhaul that they try to encounter or endure. And you're not going to be able to rewire. Most people aren't going to be able to unplug that way and plug into a new socket. Be, okay, this is the old me. Click. This is where I'm going to be. And I think that's often people's failures. Is okay. So let's say like what's for most people, I'd say soda is probably a big
Soda's
factor.
huge for everyone, yeah.
Cut that out of your diet. And not cut it out like, okay, I'm going from drinking X amount of sodas a day to just drinking water. No, how many sodas do you have in a day? Well, I have 6. Drop it down to 4.
That's exactly what I did. I did it little by little.
Go to 4, and then after a while, drop it down to 3, and then maybe now 1 with dinner.
Cold turkey's not for everybody, man.
But for a reason, because it's hard to unplug those wires,
Yeah.
And I feel like it's over time it gets easier. Okay, well, maybe I can hang with 3 sodas out of the 6 or 7.
It's
I would drink in a
confidence
day.
building, because once you remove that first one, you're like, maybe I can remove 2 now.
Mhm.
Maybe I could go another week. Maybe I can go a month. Maybe I can
Yeah.
go 2, like, and then it just keeps adding.
And then so when it goes into the gym, like when I first started getting back into the gym, I made it a point to go, but my workouts weren't intense at all. I just like I don't want to burn myself out and then find a reason now not to come. So I slowly started making those changes. Like for me, it was overtime. I stopped doing overtime unless they made me. And so for me going to getting multiple overtimes a week to going down to 0 and maybe getting 1 every 2 months because it was, hey, you're up, your number's up. It was difficult, but I was trying to not put any unnecessary roadblocks in my path. Like, okay, well, I just worked 16 hours. I can't go to the gym because I'm tired. But then then I'm gonna want to sleep in to get to my next shift. And
You
I'll
don't
do
want
that after.
anything getting in the way
I
of
just
that.
like know it. I just need to make it clean. If I get hit, I get hit. I'll adjust. But if I can avoid it, I will. And I would say now my diet's gotten a lot better because I got to a point where I was like, hey, I'm active. I'm more active than I've ever been in the recent past. So I'll indulge here and there.
That's how it starts, though.
And
And that's what
then-
you tell yourself. But eventually, you keep getting progress, and you're like,
Yeah,
I
so
don't
now
want to add this shit in.
then I started trying to meal prep, and then for me the issue would come with meal prep is I cook a big amount of food, and I wasn't consuming enough protein as a result. So I was like, okay, I gotta start making sure I eat my protein. But it's hard to eat. It's easy not to eat. It's hard to eat when you don't want to eat, right?
Mhm.
And so
I hate eating. I don't like it.
So for me, the issue became I would have all this food just kind of sitting there in the refrigerator, eventually going to waste. And I hated cooking every single day, right? That part drove me nuts. And so I would eat clean for maybe 1 or 2 days of the week, and then it would just be like I'll eat what I can along the way. I'll try to keep it. I'll be conscious of what I'm eating. And then now I'm at a point where I barbecue about every day, if not every other day. And if I have like an overtime scheduled, then I'll cook enough to get me through those 2 days. And then on the day where I'm not working overtime, then I'll go back to my day to day cooking. And to me, it's been a lot easier that way because then like the food, obviously after a couple days, the food quality starts to diminish and it doesn't taste as well. And it's like, well, this shit sucks. And so now I'm getting onto a point where I'm able cooking every day and it's easier. Now it's part of my everyday routine. So it's factored in. So now it's just like that's part of the time of my day is allocated to cooking. And that way I'm not counting my macros or nothing like that. I'm just, hey, I'm eating some vegetables, a little bit of rice, and a lot of protein. And to me, that's enough. I'm not trying to go into competition prep where every gram of sodium and every gram of carbs and fats is actually, calculated and tailored and slowly going down. But it's taken a while, but now I'm finally here. And I think that people, they try to just do this one, it's hey, new year, new me, New Year's resolutions to get in shape. And they just do this massive
You're setting
overhaul.
yourself up for
Yeah,
failure.
and you're not going to get there that way. You have to try to do it in increments.
Well, that's why it took me 3 or 4 attempts at the thing to actually be successful at it, actually sustaining it. Because the first few times was that I was just trying to go cold turkey off everything. I was like, there's no, because at that time I didn't know how to cook really and make my food taste good. I didn't know how to make healthy food taste good or even cook chicken the right way. It was just,
Oh
it
yeah,
wa-
dude,
it was a,
that's a big factor, bro.
yeah.
Because you have to make it something that you're gonna want to maintain. You know what I'm
Otherwise, you're
saying?
just eventually it's gonna run its course, and you're not gonna want to.
Like I was always scared to cook chicken. I always thought I was gonna undercook it and die. So I would cook my chicken to the point it turned into rubber and you could bounce it off the floor and it was terrible, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. I think we all had that problem.
And so I got to a point now. It's like, you know what? Like I'm gonna season my stuff so I can eat it. And if I have it's a higher sodium content, then I'll just go work out a little harder and sweat it out. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like there's ways you can offset things. But I think the big part again is just people just take on more than they can chew, and or more than they can swallow, and then just like
Yeah.
and now this
It
task
eventually
becomes
it eventually breaks them, and then they just go back to their old lifestyle. And it's not even that it's their fault because they probably had the ambition and the will to do it. It's just the load or the amount of stress that it has on your body if you're just going from cold turkey to that, or from living that lifestyle just to that with the flip of a switch. It's gonna break you down, man. It's like you have to do it incrementally. That way your body can adjust.
yeah,
You have to
exactly.
inoculate
Mhm.
yourself to that lifestyle because it's not easy. Your body will change, and there's a mental change too that happens that you won't even anticipate.
And what's crazy, dude, that mental change that happens, it overflows into other areas of your life
Mm-hmm.
where like you've set a standard for yourself and like now failure isn't an option, and I think the gym reinforces that way of thinking because like it's now you're used to setting goals and actually achieving those goals. And so that rolls over to other aspects of your life, whether it be you trying to get a new occupational or you embarking a new occupational endeavor. Like, hey, I want to promote at work, or and if you didn't have that reinforcement that you got from the gym, which is something simple, just taking an hour or two out of your day to go make this happen, you've instilled this I don't accept no as an answer. It rolls over to that. I'm not gonna okay, I didn't get the job this time. I'm gonna fucking make it a point to get the skills that I need to make it happen. And I think that transformation's outstanding, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, and I look back too, like on the progress that I have made, and I'm very thankful for how far I've come, and obviously I'm not anywhere near done.
It
But
never stops, man. Like
but
this guy that I came across, I mentioned in the last episode. What he said, he's going to the gym to work on my body dysmorphia
Yeah.
because you're never satisfied.
I know I'm not, man. I look at the mirror still nowadays when I you've seen the classic memes. It's like when you get to the gym, you feel like the big old buff dude, and then you get
Yeah.
home, you feel like a noodle.
Yeah,
It's like that's how it feels. Like that's how I feel right now. Like I need to go get a sweater and cover up, but I'm trying to be more uninsecure. I'm trying to be more confident. Trying to be more
but it is a
confident.
confidence booster, man. You know what I'm saying? Like it really is. And
Don't show your guns, please. You'll make me look bad.
and it's just one of those things, bro. Like the for me, the biggest takeaway though, honestly, aside from the physical changes, bro, is the mental changes, dude.
Yeah.
This guy came across his page is called Iron Sanctuary, and he had this bracelet and this necklace that I bought. I've since lost the bracelet, but I haven't taken the necklace off since I've gotten it.
Yeah.
And it says 1 rep at a time, and his thing is changing mental health
One rep at a time. I've seen this guy before, yeah.
and massive dude, bro. And said life is full of a lot of adversity, man. And I feel like going to the gym is a healthy outlet, where you instead of like taking the path that I took, some months back and just drowning myself in sorrows and alcohol, I found a positive outlet where I can relieve some stress, and it only benefits me in a health capacity as well as a mental cleansing. And I said this in the last one, bro, and I'm gonna continue to say this anytime this topic comes up. But it the gym for me, man, has been just like this very eye opening experience, dude. And I hope that I never fall off that wagon because
Yeah, I hope not either.
I demand a lot for myself now, and it blows over into other areas of my life. And I don't know where I'd be, bro. I don't know if I'd be seated here in front of you today if it wasn't for that, man. Because I was in a very, very, very dark place, And Jordan Peterson said this on a recent episode I watched with him. He goes, but like, you have to stare into the darkness long enough, and if you stare into it long enough, you'll see the light.
Your eyes will adjust.
And he's like, but if you don't see the lights, because you're not looking hard enough, And so the gym allowed me to search in that abyss, and find that little shimmer of light. And now I feel like the darkness isn't completely gone, but it's a lot brighter now than it was when I started this. And I'm very thankful that I chose to find that path because I don't know where I'd be right now, honestly.
Well, I feel like everything happens for a reason. So I'm glad that you found your path, and I hope you stick to your path because it's very, very, very easy to just fall off that path and derail that train.
Mm-hmm.
It's I'm saying that from personal experience, man. Um, but I really, 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 really do hope that you can keep this mentality and this humbleness that
Oh, dude, it was
that you came
yeah,
through with, because I noticed a massive difference in your energy and everything.
yeah, man. It's it's interesting, bro. Like, cause when I when that situation befell me, bro.
And I'm sure there's people wondering what your situation
I just
was, and
honestly, God,
and that's
it was just a breakup, honestly.
I
You
was
know what
gonna
I'm
say
saying? But like,
that's for you if you want to
no,
talk
no, but
about
it was
it,
just a
but
breakup. But it made me view myself in a way that I never thought possible. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt like I felt useless, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I just felt like I'm like, what's the point? Of all this shit. And uh, I've never viewed myself in that way before, and so it was a very, very eye-opening, but shitty eye-opening experience for me. But
yeah, but it did you some good.
I feel I came out the other end better, bro. I referenced the Phoenix first, in the last one, and to me, like, yeah, you rose from the ashes, but first you have to die. The old you has to die off first before the new you can take to manifest itself. And I feel that that's where I'm at, and I feel for a lot of people, man. If you're struggling with something in life, like, hit the gym or go for a walk, go on a hike. Like I just feel like it doesn't necessarily have to be confined to the walls of a gym, but I feel like any sort of active, activity
Go
that
for
you're
a
or
walk.
just that's gonna help, dude. And there was a person that used to be close to me that suffered from depression, and they would take a walk or go on a hike, and that was like a very relieving. Of course, you got to think of the scenery you're going to be exposed to and things of that nature, but it all kind of plays a factor. And that person, they would tell me it helped them a lot with and they suffered from mental or depression chronically. And anytime that they would go into that depressive mode, they made it a point to go on these hikes, and it helped them tremendously. Now, of course, it didn't take it away, but it helped release and relieve some of those pressures that they were feeling. Like how I described it, like a cloud that followed you everywhere you went. Their sun was allowed to break through those clouds, and so maybe it's sort of any sort of physical activity. It doesn't have to
That's
necessarily be weightlifting, but
that's the
get out
reason
there,
I
get
started,
active.
man. That's the reason I started. I felt like there was nothing else to do. I had tried everything I could try. I was against medication so severely against it. I did not want to do it. But I was like, I need to do something, bro, because I'm fucking done living this way. So let me give it a shot. Didn't work out. Long story short, I was like, what? All right, what else could I do? At that point, dude, I felt like I had tried everything. I was like, I was getting worse because I was like, damn it,
Nothing's
it
working.
didn't fucking work, man. Like shit, of course, right? Like my luck that in that mind state, right? Just living negatively, thinking negatively. That's exactly where my mind went to. I was like, how about the gym? Let me just try and turn my life around. Let me just start being healthy and see what happens. I got nothing to lose. And that was really the only thing. The same thing as the person you were describing. Like I just started going on walks. Like when I would feel like cooped up and feeling myself slipping, let's go outside. Let's take a walk. I would take
It's
a
weird,
walk.
man.
A
You
walk
know,
turned into two walks, and then that turned into jogging. That turned into getting on the treadmill. That turned into weightlifting, and then here we are.
it's crazy, bro. Because when you said that, when you felt cooped up and you just getting outside was
Yeah.
a sense of relief for you. When I used to work in the jail, one of the things I had an inmate, and I forgot his name, but what he said stuck with me. He said, "It's weird. These walls will fuck you up worse than anything else. It's that isolation, and the lack of getting outside and the lack of having that sense of freedom. It bangs you up because I seen guys come in that were perfectly normal, and they were there maybe like 6 months going through trial real quick, getting a short sentence, and whether they got probation or went to prison. By the time they left, they were not the same person that walked through those doors, man. And I think the same applies. Like you can think of your home as a prison,
Yeah, yeah. These
and
these these
these
walls start closing in on you, man,
yeah,
really quick.
and just getting out and active, you'd be surprised how liberating that could be for your mind.
Yeah.
I think that's people need to exhaust that stuff,
That
man.
that's why
But
being stationary for too long is so dangerous. Like it
mhm.
really is. It'll start warping your mind. You'll start believing these negative things and these negative thoughts that eventually will start developing.
I think another thing that helps, and that you briefly touched on it, but you said like, what else do I have left, right? Just try the gym. To
Mhm.
me, that was an opportunity, right? And I often think we're a lot of opportunities present themselves to us, but we're not humble enough to accept those opportunities. And I don't know, whether we think the opportunity that's come before us is beneath us, like, I'm too good for that.
Mhm.
Accept like, try it, and you never know what door is going to open on the other side for you. And I would say, I was fortunate enough when I got into my line of work. I never wanted to be a correctional officer when I started at the jail. It was never um a thought that I had of a source of income or occupational, thing for me. I did it because it was an opportunity that was there. I was like, you know what? I'm working part time, minimum wage. This is more than money. Wasn't much money more than uh, uh, minimum wage at the time, maybe $4 or $5, but it was full time. But the doors that open as a result of that choice, I'm in a lot better position now in the law enforcement community. Um, I'm making a lot more money than I ever thought that I was capable of. And that all started from me being humble enough to say, you know what, let's just try it. Let's just try this opportunity. And I think we have a lot of opportunities around us, whether it be hobby related, whether it be um, fitness related, or there's a lot of opportunities that we just decline. And what harm could come from you just accepting it? And if it's not something that's you're into or something that doesn't work out the way you would like it, hey, you can close the door, but try it. And for you, that opportunity was the gym. And look at the impact that it's had over the last couple of years for you, or maybe not the gym, but fitness as a whole. I would say that you're a lot better off for that. And I feel, again, as people, we often overlook a lot of opportunities. Like, what's the point? What can I gain from this? Just try it. You never know. And I think that goes in a lot to saying, when you were saying when you're on your deathbed, did you leave any sort of negative or positive energy behind? Also, people tend to think about, I didn't do enough. Like, that's what I'm saying. My hat's off to you, man, for going down the sticking to your guns when it came to music production. Because I mean, let's just be face it. That's the likelihood of you becoming a prolific person in that world is slim. You're going up against a lot of good, talented people, but whether or not you would consider yourself a success is up for interpretation. But now you can rest assured knowing that you gave it everything that you had, and that's a question that will never be left on the table of, man, if I never did that, where would I be? Now you know what I'm saying? And some things work out, some things don't, but at least that's a chapter that you can close behind you. Or I'm not saying you did, but I'm just saying, like, just other people. Same thing with this podcast,
Yeah, and here's the thing. I for a long time resented music and hated it because I felt like I didn't get anything from it. But what I realized is I could take that same mentality and drive that I implemented into my music and put it into something else. And I feel like that's the mentality that I carried over into the gym, even more so now because it means a lot more. It has more of an impact. It's going to do more for me. The environment is more positive. So whatever you feel like you failed at and that effort that you put forth towards something, put it into something else. And it might work.
Well, dude, I mean, hell, the failure is an opportunity for learning. You know, like if you fail at something, it's an opportunity for you to learn what you did wrong and rectify the situation. You know, and I think people we're terrified as a whole of failure. You know, you're put in for a promotion, whether it's a relationship that failed, like we're terrified of it, but there's a lot that could be gained and a lot of insight that comes from that kind of stuff if you allow it to do what it's supposed to do. You know, it it's a means to correcting errors in your ways, whether it be like I said, relationships or work or gym, or you can put that to anything. We just shouldn't be scared of failure. You
No,
should
failure,
actually
failure is
you
good.
should
Embrace it.
you should welcome it.
Mhm.
You know, because if you're always successful, I mean, how much did you really learn, or is it just a gift that you had? And then when you finally do come across something that you're gonna fail at, it's gonna hit you 1,000 times harder because you've never experienced that type of failure. Which is, I think, going off on a little bit of a tangent, but kids today, they're getting participation trophies. They don't. We're not keeping score. Everyone's a winner. No, life's not like that, dude. There's a lot of shit in life where there's like very, very clear cut losers. And if you don't expose yourself to that type of loss sooner rather than later, when it does hit you, it's going to hit you at a magnitude that you're not prepared to handle. And the foundation of your life gets rocked as a sense, you know, and hopefully you have some way established a way of holding yourself together when it all comes crumbling down.
Yeah, you'll have no blueprint to navigate the struggle and that endeavor
And
that
that's what we're
eventually
saying
you're
here.
gonna come across.
So yeah, man, it kind of bleeds over in a lot of different areas.
100%, bro. And I wish we could keep talking more, but we're almost at 2 hours.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. So this next time, when you come back, I wanna figure out a way to either have somebody here with us or get somebody that we could talk to about some crazy shit.
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah. Or even somebody involving the gym. It doesn't matter, but somebody I want to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
So I mean, cuz it's no secret. You and I can go on forever about whatever. But I would like to speak with somebody
I've
about
also had
it.
people hitting me up, bro.
Okay.
One chick hit me up saying, "Hey, if you want a female perspective on stuff, I'm down to talk." So,
Yeah.
Steph, if you're out there and you watch this one, we'll try to get you on as soon as we can. We just got to get the equipment.
Shouts out, man. Shit. All my fans. That's my what is it? General. When they make fun of the freestyle rappers, that they get all hard.
Oh
Like
yeah,
they
when
try
they're-
General. This Tyler the Creator.
Ooh.
Anyway, that's gonna wrap it up for this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like, subscribe, comment, share with
Real
your
quick
friends.
before we end it, people down in the comments, we see them, we read them, we appreciate the feedback.
Appreciate it.
It was cool to see. Hey, welcome back, Marcus Marx and the Yeti, the humble
Oh
Yeti.
yeah.
thought that was
The
pretty
humble
cool.
Yeti. They
Yeah.
like it, man. They like it. So
So I appreciate you guys. It was pretty cool. And of course, Luan Gaming,
yeah,
always
Luan
out
Gaming,
there.
yeah.
He's one of our biggest supporters. So I appreciate you, buddy.
appreciate you, man, and positivity your way. So that's all I want to say. But yeah, hope you guys tune in for the next one, and hope you enjoyed.